Right.
Guys, we are live.
Where's the link for it, guys, so I can post it wherever else, get everyone else involved?
Yeah, we're on.
2 seconds. What I'll do is I'll post the link to this, lads, in the Zero Risk group, and then you guys put that everywhere. Right. There's the link.
I'll just post it in the admin group as well.
I'm doing that now, Ben. If you can start sharing it onto the Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Liam, do you want to put it in the free Telegram?
Yeah, doing it now.
And I'll put it into the Facebook group, the free football and racing.
Yeah.
You just share it as a post, yeah? Just share it as a link.
I'm literally just sharing it as a link, mate. If people want to jump on, then they can. There probably is already people jumping on it now. If they are, hi, 2 minutes, and we're going to get started. Just sharing this around, guys, just so we can get as many people jumping on, just so we're not speaking to ourselves. And then when we do get started, what we're going to do is just run through some questions on our risk-free betting service and explain why it's risk-free and how we make it risk-free, and just little bits about how it works. Give us 2 minutes. We're just trying to get some people on. Ben, are you sharing in groups, mate?
Yeah, in all the Facebook groups now.
Just trying to get some people on. Cool. If you are, 2 minutes. I keep playing it on my phone on accident, so I'm probably getting it.
You are getting interference.
Yeah. Got 15 people watching, but that's probably mostly the network guys and us anyway. So yeah, well, as I say, the recording of this will stay on the Facebook groups and it will stay live, so people can catch up later on if they've missed it or whatever. Starting about a minute. Ben, are you getting on sharing to the groups?
Yeah, getting through them. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of groups to get through, but we are getting through them.
Happy?
Lovely stuff.
Glad that you've all scrubbed up.
Always.
Love how Ben's got his little Tipman racing background on as well.
Got to get the brand awareness up, haven't we? That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Happy. Just a bit more, guys, about why we're actually doing this. So, one of the products that Tipman offers is a zero risk betting product. And the biggest hurdle we've faced since we launched it, we've been doing it now for around 2.5 months. So the biggest hurdle that we've faced is everybody that we've talked to about zero risk betting thinks it's a scam. Because there's so many scammers on Facebook, and we're usually sharing from a page or from a group, people just tend to think that we're maybe not legitimate and we're probably trying to rob money, and we get a lot of laughing emojis on our posts that we do on socials, but genuinely we run a risk-free arbitrage betting service, and the two guys that I'm here with now, Bobby and Liam, they've been running this service for a fair while. Lads, if you want, we'll crack on. Bobby, I'll hand over to you, mate, if you want, just to introduce yourself, a little bit about you, a little bit about your history, and how you've got into arbitrage betting.
Yeah, so I'm Bobby. Basically, me and Liam have been doing this for about 1.5 years now, but with the arbitrage betting, I've been doing it for a good few years. What it basically is you have 2 outcomes for every single bet. For example, you can have over 5 corners and then under 6 corners. So you cover absolutely every outcome. But different bookies have different odds. So, for example, you might get just over even, say 11 to 10 for over. You might get 11 to 10 for under at different bookies. So you can put £100 on each bet and you'd come out with £10 profit. One will always win, one will always lose. And I've done this for a good few years now. But you do have to have quite a few bookies because obviously different bookies have different odds. We've done that as a service on our own for about a year, just under a year, maybe 10 months, what me and Liam have been doing. But we have been working full-time, spot trading as it were, for about the same amount of time, but just doing different things really. But with this, we're trying to bring it to TMT, as Fraser and Ben have found it to be a good thing to have really, and we're just trying to bring it to you guys now. Liam, do you want to say anything about it?
I think you've covered most things there, Bobs. I suppose the key thing is to sort of educate as much as we can now going forward. on how sort of successful this has been in the past. And Fraser, feel free to jump in here, but it's more that education piece now going forward, just to make sure that, and this is a great thing as well of putting sort of a face to the service as well. So we're just trying to do that under the whole package of how to best product it in a sense from a TMT perspective.
Yeah. What we'll do, guys, because I'm conscious that there'll be a bunch of people on here now watching, and people watching later on that may have questions. So, Ben, I know you're on mute at the minute, mate, but towards the end of this, if you let us know on the Facebook comments, if anyone does have any questions that they want to ask Bobby and Liam themselves about zero risk betting, how it's possible for us to bet with zero risk of losing whatsoever, any questions that you guys get from that, feel free to ask. Right, we'll crack on then. So I've got a bunch of questions for you. Just to summarise to the people watching what we're going to go through. So we'll go through a little bit more about what is arbitrage betting. Bobby's give us a brief overview there. We'll talk about how it's risk-free and how you can't lose. A little bit about how the guys find these bets, how long they've been doing it, and some of the other value betting services they offer, like the 2-ups. I know you guys have previously done courtsiding and some other stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit about how much people can realistically make and how many of these risk-free bets that you guys post per month. How much do people need to be able to do this and to sign up and follow? Do they need to sign up to 100 bookie sign-up offers and rely on those to be able to do this long-term? A little bit about account restrictions as well. We'll touch on that. And how do they sign up and get started with us? So if you guys are all good, we'll make a start on that. Happy?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. So I know you give us a little bit of a brief overview there, Bobby, but one thing that we did talk about is possibly sharing your screen and showing some people how it is completely risk-free and what is arbitrage.
Yeah, so I'll show a couple of examples. So I'll just share my screen now. So we'll start with this one. So there's two games, they're both football games. Well, it's the exact same game, but it's with different bookies. You see on the left here, we're with Betfair, and we're going for over 5.5 goals. And you can see there it's 3.0 or 2-1. We've put £73 on, and it returns 219. On the right-hand side, it's the exact same game, but instead you're doing under 5.5. So regardless what happens, no matter how many goals there are, there's only going to be one winner. So this one's with Bryn on here. The odds are 8-11, and we're putting £127 on. And you can see there the returns are £219. So the total stake is £200. In our group, we tend to always do 200, try and keep it simple. So it's £200 the stake between both of them, and you can see it's £219 return regardless of the outcome. So no matter what happens, you're guaranteed £19 profit there.
Class.
And I'll just run another one. So we'll go with this one, quite a bit bigger. So here on Sky Bet, we've got 12 plus corners at 5-2. So the stake is here, you can see, £70.50, and it returns £246. On the right, it's with Bet365, and it's under 11.5 corners. The thing is with Sky Bet, they do tend to confuse it a bit because they say 12 plus, but it does mean 12 or more. So here, with Bet365, it's under 11.5. So then again, all the outcomes are covered, and the return there is 246. Once again, the stake's 200 and the return 246. So that's one of the big ones we do. They're not always that big, I wish they were, but £46 profit guaranteed again. And that's basically it. Obviously, it's different markets. We do explore a lot of different markets. We explore, I'll just stop sharing. We explore a lot of different sports as well. So we might do tennis, football, rugby. There is a hell of a lot of different markets we can explore.
Quality, mate. Love that. And just to expand a little bit as well to the guys watching, you guys haven't got to find these markets yourself. You haven't got to search for them yourself, even on Sky Bet or Bet365. Every time these guys share and find one of these bets for you, they warn you guys in our group that it's coming. And they'll also post a link every time. So as soon as you click it, it'll load the bet slip for you. So you've just got to log online and put how much.
Sometimes it depends what website it is. So, for example, Betfair, they'll load your bet slip. Sometimes it just takes you to the event. But as you go on, you get faster at finding a bet. But it'll always take you to the event.
Quality, mate. The risk-free bet I've got for you this year is Leeds to get relegated, Villa to win the league.
Well, You know about that, mate.
We'll see. How do you actually find these then? Can anyone do it, or is it?
I wouldn't say anybody could do it. There is a couple of websites we use as indicators. There's Oddspedia is quite good for an indicator, but you've got to know what you're looking for. And then once you find a game that's got value, as it were, you then have to search through. You know, sometimes it takes us an hour and a half to find one bet. But we do have four computer screens in our office, so we've got like different bookies to open every single minute of the day, really.
Quality, mate. It's a little, do you know what? I wouldn't even call it betting. It's probably more like trading, is it not?
Yeah, well, if you do everything right, there is no risk, hence the name zero risk betting. So it would be, well, it'd probably be safer than investing on your stock exchange or whatever you do. But you do have to follow the rules, because you can get caught if you're, for example, you bet on something and then you haven't got both bets in your bet slip. Because if you bet on it and then you go away and find the other bet, 3 minutes later the odds might have changed and you can get stung. But we do explain all that when you do join the group.
Quality, mate. How long have you been doing this for then? I know you touched on that earlier, but how long have you been going in total?
So for the arbitrage betting, we've probably been doing it ourselves about 18 months. I did do it when I was younger, to be fair, but only like small, because I didn't really know how to find them back then. So it was just tend to be tennis games. So just find both players that were over evens and just make a quick tenner. But me and Liam have been doing it about 18 months now, and we've obviously got our own service that we've run for about 9 or 10 months.
Right, okay, quality. And obviously you guys, you've touched on before how you guys seem to bet. You bet totally different to the average punter in terms of you guys have done a little bit of court-siding, you do value betting, you do the two-up betting. Everything you do is more towards having an edge over the bookies, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've done court-siding before. I won't go into the sports that we've done it on, but we've done, obviously you might have seen a programme on BBC with Lloyd Griffiths. He did tennis, but that's tend to be stopped now with everyone obviously seeing the programme. But we've done a couple of other sports, just trying to get the edge on the bookie really. And with the value betting as well, we just try to find like mispriced odds, as it were.
Yeah. I did see one that you posted yesterday. I got on that myself. That horse you posted at 16-1 that you said, I think you said it was 4-1 elsewhere and it was 16-1 still on some sort.
Yeah, Bet365, it was 16-1, 4-1 on Sky, and it landed at 7-4.
And won.
Somewhat dodgy with the Irish racing, but we'll take it.
Love it. We do need to speak about launching that value betting service at some point as well.
Yeah, definitely.
How much do you reckon, so if I was to join this today, new person, completely new, how much do you reckon I could realistically make from it?
It varies really. We tend to post about £500 plus worth of opportunities each week. That's not to say you're going to get on £500 worth, because you might be at work, you might be late to the party, you might not see it. Sometimes the odds change within 5-10 minutes. But if you get on 1 or 2 a day, you're looking at £500 a month.
Quality. How long roughly do the odds last? So say, for example, you post a bet now. How long on average would you say the odds last?
It massively varies. They tend to last a lot longer early doors in the morning. Some last an hour, some last 3 minutes. It depends when the bookie sees that they're overpriced. So that's why we always say, make sure you've got both bets in the bet slip, place them as close as you can together.
I suppose that's hence the reason why there's always that initial check-in with everybody to say, look, there's a bet incoming.
Yeah.
That's just it's more of a warm-up to give that edge so that all of our members are active and they're ready to go, just because of that speed that is needed and required for us to sort of get the edge over the bookie, because bookmakers can be very quick at changing odds, as we all know.
Yeah, I did. I think the signal must have went for myself a little bit, but Bobby, I don't know if you mentioned this, but what you do is you tell people to put the money on the markets on both of them, load the bet slips, have it ready, and then place them at the same time, don't you?
Yeah. So Liam said we give a little warning. The warning is usually the bookies that we're going to be using. So, for example, we'll post a message in the Telegram saying Sky Bet365. That gives you a chance if you want to get it loaded, or just be active at your computer, because then you can just click the links, get your stake in both, and just press. We also mention as well, if we think, say Sky Bet, we think that's the value side of it, we'll always say place that first, because we think the odds will change on that before the other side.
Right, okay.
So it's just to help all the members really.
Class. So most people that gamble, and most of our audience and most of our groups are betting groups, right? Most people have done that profit accumulator at some point where you're required to sign up to 9 million bookies, and it relies on these bookie offers every day for this to keep going. This isn't the similar, is it? It's something completely different.
No, it's not. It's not the same at all. Like, this isn't new welcome offers. You do need multiple bookies because obviously different bookies have different odds. So you can't do it with 2 bookies because you might only get on one. If you've got Sky and Bet365, you might only get on the ones that involve them 2. Which I'm not saying it never happens, but you might only get on 1 in 10. So I think we use about 7 or 8 bookies mainly, and if you have them, then you've got an opportunity to get on pretty much every bet.
Quality, lads. Right, a big question that I know is probably already coming in, and most people ask this when they talk about it. What are the risks? So one of the risks is potentially that you can get your max stake restricted, right? How often does that happen?
Yeah, so it's an absolute lottery whether you get restricted, which accounts get restricted, but there is ways you can combat it. The biggest problem we face is because a lot of people want to start with £100 or £200 and they're only getting 1 bet on. And as soon as that bet settles, they've got to withdraw the money, deposit again elsewhere, and it's the withdrawal side of stuff that they see. So the bookers are thinking, why is he withdrawing all the time? Whereas ideally, in an ideal world, you want the account loaded with, at least enough for 1 bet, 2 bets, and then you can keep money in the account. I know it's in a perfect world, that is a perfect world, but it's not. Some people don't have a couple of thousand lying around, but ideally, if you want this to be long term, that's what you should have.
Okay, quality. And also, you mentioned earlier about possibly placing some mug bets like Leeds to survive, so they know that you're not a good gambler, right?
Yeah. So, for example, on Sky, if you just place £5 ACCA every week, or just go into the Tipman Premium group and see what Ben's tipping with the football when the football comes back on. If he's got a treble on or a double, just put it on every week. Just try and do one on every bookie. It might sound like a lot, £5 on every bookie, but if you're making, if you're making £500 a month, it's not a lot of money just to keep your account healthy.
I suppose it just goes with anything in general. If you were to open up a bucket and deposit money, start doing bets of any sort, then you withdraw in betting. That activity alone will cause it to be restricted.
Yeah.
So it's not anything different. We're just finding sort of hints and tips on ways around that we can make account health a lot longer instead of it just being a month or 2. We've got, like we said, we've done this for practically 10 months as such as a service that we're trying to run now, and we've still got the same members active now with us.
Class.
So there's longevity in it. It's just all about sort of any hints and tips that we can support and do that. We will try and enforce that as much as possible.
Quality. And how much is it to get started, and how much do I need to join and follow your bets then?
So to get started, minimum I'd recommend would be probably £500. That'll let you get on a couple of bets, but in an ideal world, you want money across the account.
Yeah.
So for it to be longevity, you're looking at £1,000 plus, but you can start with £500.
Okay.
But if you want it to last, if you want it to be a side hustle for coming months and months and months, I would recommend up to probably £2,000 just in your account. You're not spending this. Like, we've got people watching now who have invested in the Forex, whatever else. It's pretty much an investment, because you might have £2,000 lying around, but if you can make £500 a month on that, it's a 25% return every single month.
And it really is impossible to lose. So just to reiterate, these account restrictions, you're never going to lose the money that's in your account. The only thing that they're going to do is restrict how much you can actually place on a bet. That's right, yeah?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. They just stay restricted, basically, because they know that you're ultimately taking money from them all the time, and bookers losing money.
Quality, mate. Ben, I'm pretty much done with questions to the guys. Have we had anything on Facebook? Anyone got any questions that's currently watching?
Yeah, not many questions, to be honest, mate. We've got a guy called Anthony Booth who's just said he's having problems with booking restrictions. But that's just been covered. You need to protect your accounts, whether that's placing a few bets. You're not just opening a Boyle Sports account just to place £106.73. and really obscure betting amounts. You need to make it
Yeah.
look genuine to them as well, and that's all part of the longevity of the service and how you're going to continue to make money. Other than that, mate, I'm just scrolling through now. There's not a huge amount of questions. We've got Andrea who's asking us about which horse will finish in the top three, as she usually does.
Standard.
Will Gatwick finish in the top three? I don't think we've got an R bet on that at the minute, but let us have a look into it for you, Andrea, and we'll see what we can do there.
Happy.
There's a few people on, guys. Obviously, if you are, if you're watching and you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. If you think of one later, drop it in the comments. This live will still be available to see, so you can drop the comments in and we'll come back and try and answer them as best we can.
Class, mate, nice one. Well, if no questions are coming in, all I'll do is tell you guys that we've posted the link to our free channel in this Facebook Live, so you should see it above this where there's a little link. If you hit on our free channel, one of the guys will message you with a little bit of info about how it all works, and also a link to our website if you did want more information or look at signing up. There's also a frequently asked questions section on the website and a little bit more information and detail. But what I'll also do is I'll comment myself on the video. I'll get Bobby, Ben, Liam too. So if you've got any specific questions for any of us, please feel free to drop us a message on the comment section. Ben, I'm guessing no more
Somebody has
questions.
just asked, do you need a laptop for this or can it be done on mobile? So, yeah, you don't need a laptop, mate. You can do it on any device, laptop, mobile phone, desktop, computer, whatever you want. You just need to download the Bookie apps and have the Telegram Messenger app available on the phone.
Hang on. Just to expand on that, most of the time these guys will post a direct link as well. So if you click on the link, it will take you straight through either to the market or to load the bet slip. And you can do that on your phone or on your laptop, whatever device that you want, as long as you've got internet, of course.
Yeah.
Quality. Anything else coming in, Ben, or are we done,
No,
mate?
not at the minute, mate, nothing. Obviously,
Happy?
we'll cover a few more of these lives. We'll jump back on maybe next week and do another one for people who've missed it, and just kind of raise awareness and education for people, because obviously one of the main things you guys come across when you're promoting this is nothing's risk-free. I don't understand, and the more we educate people.
The amount of comments I've seen on Facebook asking if we need their mother's maiden name, and they're sharing little gifs of like phone jacker or something. We're not scammers, guys. Just to reiterate. Right, lads, thanks for jumping on. I think we'll probably end it there if there's no more questions coming in. As Ben said, we'll keep continuing to do these, so we could even look at doing one a week or whatever, just to keep educating people and telling people what it's all about.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man. Sounds good.
Nice one. Cheers, gents.